Hello, it's Kesha. Welcome and welcome back. We are on our next section of the Aquarian. If I'm not mistaken, it's the Council of the Sages, which is my favorite part. So let's go ahead and just close our eyes and take a deep breath in and release. Deep breath in and out. Feel yourself comfortable in your seat. Shoulders lifted and back, giving your chest space to expand. And just begin to collect yourself back onto yourself. Any parts of you that you've left behind in the week, ask that they be returned to you lovingly, cleansed, and you are now made whole. Just calling all parts of yourself back. And with each breath, feeling those pieces come together and gently lock into place. And see yourself surrounded by a column of white light. And as you breathe in that white light, it fuses all of the parts of you together, clearing away anything that is not for your highest and best, freeing you, detaching you from anything that is not yours, anything that needs to be returned to source. Feel your heart open and your mind expand. Breathe in peace. Breathe in truth. Breathe in wonder. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes. Well, so here we are. Council of the Seven Sages of the World. In every age since time began have 7 sages lived. At first of every age, these sages meet to note the course of nations, peoples, tribes, and tongues, to note how far toward justice, love, and righteousness the race has gone, to formulate the code of laws, religious postulates, and plans of rule best suited to the coming age. An age had passed, and lo, another age had come. The sages must convene. Now, Alexandria was the center of the world's best thought, and here in Philo's home the sages met. From China came Meng-tse, from India Vipyapati came, from Persia Kaspar came, and from Assyria Ashbina came, from Greece Apollo came, Matheno was the Egyptian sage, and Philo was the chief of the Hebrew thought. The time was due, the council met and sat in silence 7 days. And then Meng-tse arose and said, "The wheel of time has turned once more. The race is on a higher plane of thought. The garments of our fathers have given out. The cherubim have woven a celestial cloth, have placed it in our hands, and we must make for men new garbs. The sons of men are looking for a greater light. No longer do they care for gods hewn out of wood or made of clay. They seek a God not made with hands. They see the beams of coming day, and yet they comprehend them not. The time is ripe, and we must fashion well these garments for the race. And let us make for men new garbs of justice, mercy, righteousness, and love, that they may hide their nakedness when shines the light of coming day." And Vipyapati said, "Our priests have all gone mad. They saw a demon in the wilds, and at him cast their lamps, and they were broken up, and not a gleam of light has any priest for men. The night is dark. The heart of India calls for light. The priesthood cannot be reformed. It is already dead. Its greatest deeds are graves and funeral chants. The new age calls for liberty. The kind that makes each man a priest, enables him to go alone and lay his offerings on the shrine of God. And Kaspar said, in Persia, people walk in fear. They do the good for fear to do the wrong. The devil is the greatest power in our land, and though a myth, he dandies on his knee both youth and age. Our land is dark, and evil prospers in the dark. Fear rides on every passing breeze and lurks in every form of life. The fear of evil is a myth. It is an illusion and a snare. It will live until some mighty power shall come to raise the ethers to the plane of light. When this shall come to pass, the Magian land will glory in the light. The soul of Persia calls for light. Ashbina said, Assyria is the land of doubt. The chariot of my people, that in which they mostly ride, is labeled doubt. Once faith walked forth in Babylon, and she was bright and fair. She was clothed in such white robes that men became afraid of her. And every wheel began to turn, and doubt made war on her, and drove her from the land, and she came back no more. In form, men worship God, the One. In heart, they are not sure that God exists. Faith worships at the shrine of the one not seen, but doubt must see her God. The greatest need of all Assyria is faith, a faith that seasons everything that is with certainty. And then Apollo said, the greatest needs of Greece are true concepts of God. Theogony in Greece is rudderless, for every thought may be a god and worshipped as a god. The plane of thought is broad and full of sharp antagonists, and so the circle of the gods is filled with enmity, with wars and base intrigues. Greece needs a master mind to stand above the gods, to raise the thoughts of men away from many gods to the God of one. We know that light is coming over the hills. Godspeed the light. Matheno said, behold this land of mystery, this Egypt of the dead. Our temples long have been the tombs of all hidden things of time. Our temples, crypts, and caves are dark. In light there are no secret things. The sun reveals all hidden truth. There are no mysteries in God. Behold the rising sun. His beams are entering every door, yea, every crevice of the mystic crypts of Mizraim. We hail the light. All Egypt craves the light. And Philo said, the need of Hebrew thought and life is liberty. The Hebrew prophets, seers, and givers of the law were men of power, men of holy thought, and they bequeathed to us a system of philosophy that was ideal, one strong enough and good enough to lead our people to the goal of perfectness. But carnal minds repudiated holiness. A priesthood filled with selfishness arose, and purity in heart became a myth, and people were enslaved. The priesthood is the curse of Israel. But when he comes, who is to come, he will proclaim emancipation for the slaves. My people will be free. Behold, for God has made incarnate wisdom, love, and light, which he has called Emmanuel. To him is given the keys to open up the dawn, and here as man he walks with us. And then the council chamber door was opened, and the Logos stood among the sages of the world. And again the sages sat in silence 7 days. I think we're going to leave it there, because in fact that was quite a bit, and what is more to come is also quite heavy and deep, so we'll just take that in its turn. So, the Council of the Seven Sages, they meet at the beginning of each age to provide the manifesting rule of law that the people under that age will be living under, trying to provide for them the next step in their progression towards realization of perfect man. And so we go through the seven sages. We're in meeting in Alexandria at Philo's home. He's the sage of Egypt. We've got Meng-tse from China. He is the oldest of the sages. Vipyapati from India, Kaspar from Persia, Ashbina, Assyria is Babylon, if you didn't catch that. Apollo comes from Greece. Matheno is the Egyptian. Oh, sorry, I said Philo was the, they're in Alexandria in Egypt, but Philo is the Hebrew sage. And this is where, for me, begins my favorite part. Meng-tse rose and said, "The wheel of time has turned once more. The race is on a higher plane of thought." I always like to follow that with what Vipyapati later says. The new age calls for liberty. The kind that makes each man a priest, enables him to go alone and lay his offerings on the shrine of God. That that's always my reminder that it is time to stand in faith on my own and my own beliefs, me coming to God, not needing another teacher or priest or intercessor to make connection on my behalf. But it is truly my responsibility to step forth and assume that mantleship for myself. So many of the societies are calling for light. In the light, the darkness cannot stand. And then we get to Ashbina from Babylon, and they need faith to go along with that light. Faith that you can trust the wisdom that you're receiving. And faith that you have enough light to see the step that's in front of you, not seeing the 5 or 10 that are beyond. But as long as you have the illumination for the step that you're on and what you're taking, that's really all you need. The light will continue to shine as you move forth. So yeah, faith worships at the shrine of the one not seen, but doubt must see her God. I think we go from, we start to believe and we need our signs and wonders and, take all of the signs, the synchronicities in terms of the direction we should go. But there does come a point where you are strong enough in your faith that as you say it, you know that it is done. And so there's nothing left to do but to give thanks for it, because you know that it's already, as you said it and thought it, it has already been taken care of for you. It's just a matter of it coming into the earth plane. Greece needs a change from moving from polytheism to monotheism, because in Greece, every thought can be a god, every thought can be its own religion, everybody can come forth with their own ideas, and that's great, but that's not an overriding thought, and they're often in conflict with each other, and they talk about the sharpest minds and the sharpest tongues, and they can debate and they're the antagonists, but when you're talking about truth is unimpeachable, it's unassailable, it is singular and the one. And so they are needing a mastermind that can express truth. Egypt, of course, is needing the light because it is dark with its deep mysteries. And the Hebrew thought, Philo tells them that they need to return to being masters of the law. They need something that is ideal, where not corrupted by selfishness of the priests and people. And then they recognize, that yes, we have incarnate wisdom, love, and light with us, and he is in the form of Emmanuel, peace be on earth and goodwill towards men. The Logos has come, and so he joins the 7 sages in 7 days of silence, meditation. And there we are. Yeah. Ashbina says, Assyria is the land of doubt. The chariot of my people, that in which they mostly ride, is labeled doubt. All right, so we will leave that for now. And then we will come back next week and see what the rest of the meeting has for us. All right, I will see you all next week. Love you in the meantime. Bye.